Hey y'all, welcome to the Real P Bitch Hot Seat. It's your one and only host, Leah. And today I got on me my big sister, my only sister, Carla. Carla, say what's up.
What's going on?
Alright, and so today, like I mentioned in the previous episode, we're going to be talking about mental health and just a lot of the stigmas and misconceptions a lot of people have about it. And just to shed light on how like it's more prevalent than what most people think. Because I know I mentioned on my Instagram, my most recent Instagram reel, it was like I was naming some statistics from my from my Seeking Guidance as an Adult presentation that I gave earlier this year. And like I want to say one of the numbers was like 23.6%. And I know those numbers sound small, but in reality, like, that's like millions of people in that small percentage. So it's not that, you know, this is a small issue. Like, it's bigger than what it seems. And so, I myself, you know, as well as my sister, we've had our own struggles and battles with mental health, and we gonna do our best on today's episode to like shed light on, you know what I'm saying, what mental health is and how it can look in an individual, because it's not always, you know, what you think, you know, the down, sad, and now sometimes you can be looking like, you know what I'm saying, you living your best life, and really on the inside, like, you is toe up, dead inside. So it's just like, you really just have to always move with grace, honestly, with anybody, because you don't never know what somebody else is going through. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what's on the outside. It's really about what's going on the inside. So, sis, let's talk about it.
Well, where should we start first with this? As far as like, let's talk about like what do you want to what do you want to pinpoint first, and we'll flow from there. Like, what's a question that you have, or something that you've been thinking like, what if, or how does this turn into this type thing?
Okay, well, I'm gonna take it deep. Okay, so with suicidal thoughts and attempts to suicide, what is like that, just that, what leads to that, where it's just like, that's my only way out of this?
Sometimes you get to a point in your life where you're tired of not being heard, where you're tired of hurting, where you're tired of feeling dead, and when you're tired of feeling like you don't belong here. And the way to escape this is through death. Through death, you don't have to worry about this pain. You don't have to worry about being a burden to anybody. Like, because you just don't feel understood. You don't feel heard enough. And a lot of people don't take that seriously. Because just because we'll come to you and say, hey, I really feel like killing myself, and you dismiss like, oh, don't say that. That's silly. That's stupid. Like, no, this is a cry for help right now. Right now, what you're telling me is not good. I need you to ask me, why do I feel like this? You're not asking me why. You're telling me to snap out of it. And it's like, I don't want to hear you tell me to snap out of it. I need you to ask me why, because it might help me feel better. And even if it don't, at least I know that somebody knows that this is the reason why. And for that moment, I probably got understood, but still, that pain is a lot more. Or it could be a truth that we are trying to run from. Sometimes that we cannot face our own truth, and we feel like death is our only escape. But we don't really realize death is not an escape, because your spirit will live on and on and on in that resentment. And why would you want to do that?
Right. I would say, me personally, when it comes down to like suicidal thoughts and stuff, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a weak ass bitch when it comes to like self-harm, like unintentionally, you know what I'm saying? I have all kind of bruises on myself, you know, just reckless cutting stuff up. I accidentally cut myself, but like intentionally harming myself, like, I just can't. when I found myself down and out, like, it's been times where, like, I be thinking to myself, like, I just don't want to be here. And, like, I'll just get in the bed and I'll go to sleep. That's my way of, I would say, shutting down. But you can't consistently, you know what I'm saying, just go to bed and just let your problems continue to, you know, be there because they're still there. Like, you taking a nap. But I can't say, like, me being strong enough to keep going, yet weak enough to, you know what I'm saying, actually in my life, is just like, is that, I would say, that balance. Because we all have our little, you know, our points where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, life is kicking my ass right now. Mm-hmm. But, like, what I recently learned is really, like, your perception of everything. Like I mentioned it in the last episode towards the end. Like, it's really your perception. Like, you have more control than you think you do. And, like, you really just have to tune out all the outside noise and go within and, like, isolate and figure out what's making you happy. Because you can't live for everybody else. You got to live for you. And then, like, even then, you define who you are and what you want to live for and what you want to do in your life. So it's just like, excuse me. But you just gotta define that and push towards that, no matter who's, you know what I'm saying, who with you or against you.
Well, you know, when you're in the war, severe depths of it, when you're actually one of those that does self-harm sometimes, you know, that's not easy. It's better said than done, because there's different levels of depression and anxiety. There's different levels of mental health. You got some people that's able to be able to, like, you know, it's life. I'll go to bed, wake up, I'm all right. It's a new day. But then you got people that are more severe like me. That nap or that loneliness only makes it worse for me, because at this time, I have more time to think about what the fuck am I still doing living right now. I'm not going to wake up feeling better. I'm probably going to feel worse and be like, fuck, why the fuck did I wake up? Trying to have somebody to talk to is hard when they don't really understand that depth, that deepness. It's like, I can sit here and look the happiest. I can sit here and tell you I'm good, I'm fine, everything's all right, I'm glad I woke up, and on the inside, I'm probably mentally cracking down. I'm probably one more word away from my next mental breakdown, but you'll never know. You'll be like, damn, you were just okay a second ago. Where's his flip? Sometimes, like I said, it's a lot deeper. Some it's just deeper. Some are just rooted, and it can come from trauma. A lot of it usually comes from some sort of trauma. That's how depression starts. I don't care how you want to see it, how you want to argue it, but in some kind of way, it's still a form of trauma. Trauma does not have to be something where it was life or death. Trauma could just be something that has altered your memory, your life, your feelings forever. And it's like, no matter how you try to look at what angle you look at, it's still you still have them fresh wounds open because you never properly heal, and that's where the cycle continues.
Right. I would say, when you said that, you reminded me of how this dude that was trying to talk to me in the military, he was saying that one of the people in his platoon or whatever, I don't know how that stuff goes, but had committed suicide. And, like, he just was telling me, like, how it was crazy, like how he seen a woman and the next minute he didn't. He said that he knew that the dude was on, like, suicidal watch and stuff, but, you know, he didn't really take it seriously. And he said that, you know, his interactions with him, he always think about it. And, like, how he wished he was just a little bit more kinder and stuff. And because he wanted to, I think he said the dude had asked him to walk with him to go get something to eat. And he told him, like, nah, I ain't finna go get nothing to eat. Like, walk with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, he regrets that. And it's just like, you know, every time he bring that up to me, I just be telling him, like, you know, like, don't beat yourself up about that for the rest of your life. But use that as a stepping stone to always move with more compassion, because you don't know what somebody, you know what I'm saying, going on, what they have going on and how they feeling for real. So, like, just you can't take that to heart, but just I hope that you see that as an eye-opener, going forward when you moving and interacting with different people in life. I don't know anybody who has successfully committed suicide. Now, I will say that as far as our family though, I've found out recently that it's been multiple like cousins that we have that have tried to commit suicide. And it's like, when you hear it, it's just like, what? Like, them? And it's like, you wouldn't think, but it's just like, it's more, that's all I be saying, it's more prevalent than what people think it is. Like, when I hear these things, it's just like, damn, like, I can't even begin to think about, my life without that person. Or what it would be like if they had have been successful in their attempts. It's just like, it's shocking. You don't really know how to go. I ain't gonna say you don't really know how to process those type of things. And that's why I feel like that is another reason why, like, I feel like I have to, go into this field. It's never been, I would say, about me, but it's just always been something that my soul was drawn to. Like, I just had to do this. It's always been my passion to learn the human mind and behavior and be so open-minded and just see different perspectives. Because, like, the more I age, the more wisdom I'm acquiring. And the more it's just like, dang, like, even with the LGBTQ community, like, the transgenders and the people that say they want their pronouns and stuff, it's like, at first, it comes off as like, man, what these folks talking about? They just want to be extra. They just want to be, and it's just like, no, everybody is different. They have their own way of life, and you either gonna accept it or you not. But I don't want to be that person that just had to stick up their ass and was like an asshole because of this person who identifies with themselves as whoever they want to identify themselves as, and they're living their truth. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we all need to live our truth, and whatever that may be or manifest as, and people need to accept that. And I feel like a lot of times with, like, the depression and anxiety, like those experiences that people go through where they're not accepted or they're not heard and they're not seen, and it just becomes like an overall, well, they call, like, the domino effect or the snowball effect. It just becomes larger and larger. And it's just like, now it's at the point where, they can't control it. They can't get out of this dark hole. So, yeah, I just feel like it's a lot. I need to take a break for a second. All right, you guys, I'm back. The Real P Rich is back. Okay, and so let me run back that statistic that I was mentioning before in the previous episode. So it says young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 in the U.S. have the highest rate of experiencing any mental health concerns. And that's at 30.6% compared to adults aged 26 to 49 and the highest rate of serious mental illnesses at 9.7%. And they say that females are diagnosed with serious mental health conditions at higher rates than males, 7% to 4.2% respectively. Now, one thing I want to say is I feel like women with, us being more on the feminine and emotional side, we're more open, typically more open than men are. So I feel like that's where that difference comes in at, because it's just like men, they more so are taught like conceal, don't feel, like man up, toughen up. So it's just like, I feel like that's where that percentage comes. Like, cause I feel like men experience mental health issues just as much as women do. It's just, I feel like it's the way they handle it and go about it. Now, and then I want to say, I read something where they said that most criminals in the system right now have some type of mental illness and they're not being treated for it properly because of them being incarcerated. And, you know, once you get incarcerated, they really just don't, you know, care for real. And I feel like there's just a lack of people who treat people humane within the criminal justice system. So, sis, my next, I would say, key topic surrounding mental health. What do you think is the major underlying cause for most mental health concerns?
Okay. Can you explain to me exactly what do you mean so I know how to direct my answer?
Like, what factors do you think play the most important roles in, like, what ultimately leads to people, like, being, I would say, depressed or anxious?
I want to say one is when nobody takes it serious. I feel like that's where it all starts. Is when nobody takes it serious, when you first come to them and you try to express to them how you feel, and the only thing they do is kind of push it to the side because they may not feel the way you feel. They may have a different outlook. They may feel like, you know, you're over exaggerating. It's not that bad. And it's like, that's like, I feel like that's number one. I feel like you should never dictate nobody's feelings for them. Like, if I'm coming to you telling you this how I feel, then it's, you don't understand. I'd like for you to listen to them, but don't just tell me, oh, you'll get over it or things will get better. Because sometimes it's little things like that I don't want to hear. Like, sometimes it might just be like, I just need you to listen to me right now. I just need somebody to listen to me. I know it might sound crazy, but hey, I promise you, I may or may not feel better, but at least somebody knows. And I feel like that's where it starts at. When nobody's listening, that trauma, when it keeps reoccurring as well, when you keep repeatedly going through trauma can cause that mental health that you see in a lot of people, that they lash out, how they react. Like, it's triggers. So it's like, if the situation is not addressed then and it continues to happen, then 9 out of 10, your psyche is going to be out of whack. It's going to be stuck on that. Like, right now, can't nobody sneak up on me without me wanting to automatically punch because I've been abused before. Can't nobody do that to me. I mean, I don't mean it intentionally, but it's happening because it's like, it's fight or flight. And it's like, because I'm mentally fucked up like that, it's like, it's a bad reaction to have, because it's like, I might fuck around and hit somebody that I really don't want to hit. And it's like, but for somebody who don't understand that and feel like, nah, you can control that, you just want to do that, you just want to, it's like, no, I can't. But you don't, but you are dictating my feelings, telling me that, nah, this is your intention, but I'm really trying to tell you, no, listen, like, I'm dead serious. Like, it's a reflex. I'm triggered by it. A form of PTSD leads to that. It's like, I can't help. It's a trigger of mine. Certain words, they're my trigger. It make me feel some kind of way. So it's like, it's a lot that goes with it. And then when you are with somebody or with a group of people, the only thing they do is bring up, like, it's triggers within that. Is what they call a trauma bond. You're not around them because you care for them. You're around them because it's something from your past that they trigger. And that's the only bond that you have. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand why people like me, per se, that keeps running back to the same person that's been mentally abusing them. It's that trauma bond. Like, I went through this growing up, so it's like, that's my comfort zone. Sad to say, that's my safe zone. It's a situation I know how to deal with, even though I know it's going to fuck me up mentally. I'm still here because for some reason whatever you're putting me through right now is what I'm about. But I know it's not love, because at the end of the day, I don't feel anything with you. I'm just with you because it's a trauma bond. I'm already done been through the worst, and the only thing you do, you just help me keep reliving that past, and I'm keeping myself in a cycle. And the only way I can remove myself from that cycle is to get out my comfort zone. But it's hard when you have depression, because sometimes you still need that security blanket. No matter how old you are, it's always a security blanket. You like, damn, if I go here, I'm not going to have nobody at least that knows me to talk to me. I have to start all over again. It makes you procrastinate. It makes you hesitate. It makes you overthink things, because now you're trying to think of others when you're still neglecting yourself. And it's like, it took me 25 years, almost 26 years to realize it, but it's like, sheesh, I got to start living for myself.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. It's like, when you have the ability to know and actually think through it and sit with yourself and realize, okay, this is what's going on with me. I understand why I'm in this situation. So the only way out is through, so you just have to really sit with yourself, get real with yourself on like what can't go down, and just have to be so disciplined. Like, yes, it's gonna feel this way right now, but this is a temporary feeling for something that's gonna make me feel even better, even more fulfilled. So it's just like, you really have to, it be a fight with self, honestly, a mental battle. And like, you just have to really I would say you really just have to dedicate everything that you're doing to you. Like, want more for yourself. Like, fight hard for yourself, because ain't nobody else gonna fight that hard for you. If anything, the more you go hard for yourself, the more you start to notice people wanting to I would say, pull you back or trigger you. And it's just like, damn. But it's just like, at the same time though, you just know when you see those things, just recognize, okay, this is where you stand on me. So I know that you are not meant to see me on this next level. And when I get to this next level, I appreciate, the lessons that I learned on that level with you. But I'm taking that lesson and I'm elevating to new heights, because this, where I'm at, is not where I'm meant to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just think that you really just have to always choose you first, like, and know that the reward in the end is greater than any pain and suffering that you have been through went through to get there.
Mm-hmm. And
that's why I just like, you can't really enjoy, success if you don't work through that trauma and realize everything. Because, like, you see millionaires all the time, they kill themselves, and then you got somebody like a regular person working they regular 9 to 5 thinking, I would kill to be in that position. Why would they want to kill themselves? Just like, no, like, their whole life, they probably became a millionaire doing something that their parent wanted them to do. They ain't want shit to do with their industry. Yet they was brought out into their industry, and that's what their parents forced them to do. And it's just like, I never wanted this for myself. And that's why. So it's just like, people be on the outside looking in. Like, you can't speak for nobody else, So I just feel like the human race as a whole needs to get real with the person in the mirror. Needs to everybody just need to really just do some introspection. I feel like so many people, especially in our age group, they brainwash. They be so wrapped up in other people's lives and what they got going on and how they did this and how they did that. And it's just like, you care more about somebody else, you know what I'm saying, and your view on them and their views on you, that you don't give a fuck how you feel about yourself. And I feel like once people really start tuning in to who they are as a person, looking within instead of looking without for who everybody else wants them to be and what other people expect out of them. And it's just like, I don't know why the hell you expecting anything out of me anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that shit not be, you know what I'm saying? It really, it be killing me sometimes. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, before I withdrew from school, what kept me in school so long was the fact that, and now don't get me wrong, I just still desire my degree wholeheartedly. I'm going to go back and get that when it's time, though. But the thing with me was I kept going back to re-enrolling in school and then constantly, you know what I'm saying, failing semesters and failing certain classes and shit because I wasn't all the way mentally there. You know what I'm saying? I was only doing it because this is what my dad expected me. He signed off this loan. He's expecting me to go to be in school. And then it got to the point where, like, I'm only enrolling in school so he doesn't have to pay the doggone student loan back. And it's just like, I'm not finna keep doing something repeatedly and then, you know what I'm saying, being boo-hoo dead with these damn student loan companies, which I already am. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on doing the cycle. Like, no, like, this is not something that I want ready to do right now. I need to, you know what I'm saying, do what was best for me and what I want to do, which is, like, right now what I'm doing this podcast. I'm working towards, you know what I'm saying, building my brand and making a name for myself. And then I'll go back and go to school and finish that up and become the doctor of psychology that I want to be. But right now, I'm focused on me and myself and making sure I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, I'm making a person in the mirror happy. Fuck how everybody else feel. You know what I'm saying? It's not about them because at the beginning of the day, you know what I'm saying, I'm the one that got to live with my decisions. When I get old and gray, I'm going to be thinking about, damn, I did all this for this person and lived the life that they wanted me to live and they in the ground. And I'm still here thinking and regretting that I listened to their ass. Like, no, I'm going to listen to me today, right now, and say fuck them. And when I get to that, so when I'm old and gray, I'm be like, I'm so glad I told them folks to kiss my ass and went by my own way. And I feel like that's how everybody needs to start moving. Like, now, I'm not saying just go out and be an asshole, but it's honestly, ultimately, it's a part of it. Some people just gonna view you that way. But, like, how they feel about you ain't got shit to do with you. It got more to do with them. They only feel that way because they wish that they could do what you was doing. And if they don't wish they could do what you doing, they just hate that they didn't seize the opportunity to do what you was doing when they had the opportunity. Because everybody has that opportunity. It's every day that you wake up, you still have the opportunity to go say, fuck it. This is what I want for myself, and this is what I'm going to do. And I don't care how nobody else feel about it. I feel like people get trained, they get programmed to feel like, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's like, no, you can drop everything and start the fuck over. You know what I'm saying? You don't need these folks. You know what I'm saying? They, you know what I'm saying, ain't no good for you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it is going to take some time to, you know what I'm saying, readjust. But it's going to be so much, you know what I'm saying, shit that you regret in the end if you stay there versus the bliss that you will feel when you actually pursued your dreams, no matter how big or small. Like, because I feel like, me personally, with this podcast, I don't give a fuck if only 2 people watch it, or not even watch it, listen to it, because this is something that I'm doing for me at the beginning and end of the day. It was never about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I really do hope that my words inspire other people and bring awareness to the fact that mental health is actually real, is a real thing, and that it's more prominent than people would like to admit. But, like, at the beginning and end of the day, this for me. Everything I do, I want it to be for me first, and then everything else is just a plus. It's just extra. Like, I never needed nobody else to validate me. Now, at first, I ain't gonna say I was always like that. I would seek, you know what I'm saying, validation from my parents. That's why, you know, I would want to, you know what I'm saying, please them. But now it's just like, fuck them. But, you know what I'm saying, I love them, you know, but fuck them. Respectfully, okay? Oh, how you feel, Carla? Yes, right. Fuck my parents. I still love them though.
I have no comment.
Y'all, it's 30 minutes into the podcast. I usually do 20 minutes, but I feel like this was a deep topic, and like it's gonna keep getting deeper and deeper, like, because mental health is just not one of a grab and go type topic. Like, you really gotta sit down, and because it's so many different aspects, factors. Like, a lot of the things that triggered me was just, you know what I'm saying, people pleasing and trying to show up for everybody, and then realize, you know, everybody not finna show up and for me, and everybody not gonna always be there for me. So it's just like, you just have to always be there for yourself. If you don't remember nothing else I said off this podcast, show up for yourself respectfully. Until next time on The Real P Bitch, I'm not gonna tell y'all what the next topic is gonna be about, because like, this is like, since we really just what they say, broke the ground, the threshold. We just burst through the fresh. We just broke through the thresholds of mental health on this episode, so we just gonna go deeper into it now. Like, everything from this point forward it's gonna be life experience and mental health. Like, that's what we talking about. Yeah, for the rest of this season. So I hope that y'all was well informed. If y'all wasn't informed, y'all always can go online and look up some mental health awareness statistics and facts. You know what I'm saying? The internet is everywhere. So yeah. Thank y'all for tuning into The Real P Bitch. I love y'all. Remember to keep it P, positive, passionate, playful, period. Until next time, bye.